In this explainer, we're breaking down the OpenClaw AI agent framework. We're going to dive into its architecture, its incredible potential, and, crucially, the serious security risks that every advanced user absolutely needs to understand.
Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's clear something up right away. Which OpenClaw are we even talking about? You see, the name is used for a few completely different projects, including a fan remake of that old video game Captain Claw, and even a robotic gripper. We are focused exclusively on the AI agent framework, the one that's been making serious waves in the developer community.
So what exactly is OpenClaw? It's easy to mistake it for just another chatbot, but it is fundamentally different. Think of it more like a gateway that runs locally, on your own hardware, acting as the brain and the control plane for truly autonomous AI agents. At its heart, OpenClaw is what you'd call an agentic OS. It's basically a runtime environment that allows a large language model to not just think, but to actually act directly on your system. It wires the LLM's intelligence straight into system functions, empowering it to execute complex, multi-step tasks all on its own. To really wrap your head around what makes OpenClaw so powerful, we've got to look under the hood at its technical architecture, because this is where it really sets itself apart from other AI tools. Instead of a simple question and answer logic, OpenClaw operates on something called a react loop. It's this continuous cycle of reasoning, acting, and observing, all managed by an internal state machine. The agent analyzes a task, picks a tool to act, observes what happens, and then reasons about what to do next. This loop is what lets it solve complex problems dynamically. The architecture is really built for flexibility and power. For one, it can connect to all sorts of different language models, so you're not locked into one ecosystem. It can also integrate with everyday apps like Slack, basically turning them into command interfaces for the AI. But the really critical pieces are its ability to understand which tools it can use for a job, and, most importantly, the permission to run commands directly on your system. That combination is what lets it take meaningful, autonomous action. So that's the architecture underneath it all. But what can you actually do with it? This is where you start to see the enormous potential that's getting developers, power users, and even small businesses so excited. And this is where the practical power really shines. We're talking about an agent that goes way beyond simple chat to do real work. It can manage an entire developer workflow, from monitoring GitHub issues to interacting with a CI/CD pipeline, or act as a fully integrated personal assistant, handling calendars and sorting through emails. But with that power comes immense risk. We've now arrived at the most critical aspect of OpenClaw, the massive security and liability issues that come with giving an AI agent direct access to your system. Security researchers from Cisco don't mince words, calling it an absolute security nightmare. And here's why. The agent has what experts at Sophos call the deadly trinity. It has access to private data on your machine, it interacts with untrusted content from the web, and it has the ability to communicate externally. That combination is a recipe for disaster if it's not handled correctly. The dangers here are multifaceted. They range from simple user error, like accidentally exposing the admin dashboard to the internet, to sophisticated supply chain attacks through malicious community skills. And since it can handle sensitive data, the risk of data exfiltration, or so-called shadow AI, where employees unknowingly leak company secrets, is very, very real. And this is not some theoretical risk. A simple search on Showdown, the search engine for internet-connected devices, reveals thousands of OpenClaw instances that are already publicly exposed. Every single one of those is a potential entry point for an attacker, creating a significant and growing attack surface. Despite these serious risks, OpenClaw is an undeniably powerful tool. So let's turn to the expert recommendations on how to mitigate these dangers and use it responsibly. These are practical, essential steps that should be considered non-negotiable. The key takeaway is to adopt a zero-trust mindset. Isolate its execution in a sandbox, never expose the agent directly to the internet, and enforce the principle of least privilege relentlessly. And for critical actions, make sure there's a human in the loop for final approval. Ultimately, OpenClaw gives us a glimpse into the future of proactive AI assistance deeply integrated into our digital lives. But its current form puts the full responsibility for the agent's actions squarely on the user. That makes technical safeguards, diligent monitoring, and a deep understanding of the risks more critical than ever before.